I got a guest coming on. We got Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez. He's out of town right now. He has a big concert to DJ for tomorrow. This is Boogeyman out of Chicagoland, USA. We've been on for 4 hours. We've had friends from everywhere, Florida, AZ, Texas. We appreciate everybody checking in. A couple people from overseas. And we got a special birthday weekend with Carmen Nieves. Yes, it's a good friend from the past till now. Happy birthday, Carmen, if you're still up. And my brother Ralphie out there in the AZ. Ralphie in Arizona. I'll be visiting you next month come Christmas time, my brother. So let me see. I'm going to work this mic the best I can so I can communicate with Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez. Stay tuned. Here we're gonna get ready right now.
I can hear you.
Hey Frankie, can you hear me?
Frankie, can I hear me? And can I hear you?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's count off. I'm gonna count off. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I do 5.
4, 3, 2, 1. I do 5. You do 4. Let's see if we're in sync.
5.
5.
4.
4.
Hello. Hello, check.
Yeah, you're there.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah, you're kind of feedbacking. You're doubling up.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go on
the
other mic. Hold on.
The other mic. Hold on.
Oh, I have this mic on.
I have this mic on. Hold on.
All right. How am I coming now?
Perfect.
Okay, we're ready. Hey, everybody out there. This is Boogeyman out of Chicagoland, USA. We got Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez. What's up, Frankie? What's going on out there?
Why are we hearing a beat in the background?
That'd be kind of cool. Can I take it down?
Yeah, just take it off. It's driving me nuts. Just going boom. I heard enough of that tonight.
Change it. So check this out. Frank. Here's what I can do.
Oh, God. It's a hit record. It's a hit.
Hey, this is how we make records in the studio, right? We just go stupid and
Humma, ha,
be like,
humma, ha.
Let's take the foot out so we can make it cool. So,
Well, now I can see you on Mixcloud better.
oh yeah?
Yeah, perfect.
So,
I actually have you on my phone. Here's the thing. So when I log into Facebook or any of those other platforms like Mixcloud or whatever, it won't let me access my mic. I can't access my mic. It just will not let me hit my microphone. Why?
did you, maybe you,
Even
you
with
have
the
your
headphones on.
maybe you have your laptop set up for your concert stuff and it's like not allowing
No, I had it. I went in there, I updated the browsers and all that other stuff, and it will not let me use it. It just won't give me permission. It's really messed up. Really pissing me off.
Hey, you look bigger.
Oh, here, I can move this.
There we go. No, we're good.
Actually,
So,
I had a show. I had a show tonight. I had 2 shows tonight. One during the day and one at night. We were in Austin, Texas this afternoon, and then went to Dallas, Texas at night.
Wait, really quick for everybody that don't know, I know a few of you all know house music the past.
Ralphie, this is for Ralph right here.
Actually, this is more like Ralph Speed, I think, right here.
Yeah.
Some apple moonshine.
There you go. There you go.
Frankie actually, Ralphie makes his own moonshine. Yeah, he's got an apple and a peach recipe.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
So let me see here. I'm trying to figure out.
Why is your camera so bad? You know what it is? You need to put a light on you, because your camera, it's just not crisp enough.
Well, let's look at it like this. I'm using the laptop camera that runs the little studio stuff.
Well, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay,
but you got to light it up. Because if you look at the difference on Mixcloud, if you look at them, like you're kind of like pixelated, and I don't know. I figure for the production that you're using, that's better. Actually, turn the light. Turn it.
No, I can't.
Let's get a little Martin Scorsese-ish. Then you know what you need to do? You need to hang a light above you and put a piece of paper.
Man. I like
underneath
shadows,
it,
dude. I like shadows. You remember
you're in the shadows because you're a freaking greaseball. So hold on, let me get something. I got to get something.
You know what? I got to grab my phone so I can see if we got any comments coming in here, Frank, while we're closing this show out here.
I am in my underwear. Yeah!
Hey, you're hanging out with Corn Pop out there or what?
Yes, sir.
Let me see here. Hold on. I'm going to get on the
there we go.
See what's going on.
Look at that. Fat ass hanging out and everything in my underwear.
So, live now.
That's a man right there. A man that goes on the internet in his underwear.
Oh, so Ralphie's like just chopping away down there. Let me see here. YouTube. Well, he told me YouTube blocked me today, man. That's weird. I never get blocked on YouTube.
Well,
let me see here. Oh, on the DL, we weren't supposed to tell anybody he's a bootlegger.
Well, he's a retard too. So, I mean, we're not supposed to tell anybody that.
Just so you know, Frank, I put this all over Facebook, so we shouldn't get kicked off on Facebook right now because we're talking. So in case you're checking in on Facebook, everybody, or Frankie has that cigar, I was mixing like 4 hours tonight. I was bouncing in and out of Facebook because we know what the copyrights, on the copyright infringements on music, they cut you off. So I just was going in there to let everybody know you got to find us on Mixcloud.com, YouTube.com, and Twitch.com. And you got to get yourself a free profile on all of those so that you can, get no interruptions while you listen to the mixes. There'll be no interruptions. And it's pretty cool because, you can also use it on your Fire Stick for Roku, your smart TV. You can watch the mixes like even when Frankie goes on Mixcloud and stuff like that, or YouTube. Let me see here. I'm going to look for some comments, Frank. Okay, now that I introduced Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez, house music artist from back in the day. He had the record Out of Control I played earlier, featuring Linda Rice.
I might add, I have to say something because I was listening to you earlier. You sounded fantastic, by the way.
Hey, thanks,
yeah, I like it. And there's a reason why we can't really play the way we want to play because you get kicked off. So you have to kind of dance around certain songs, and it sucks. it's like you get into a groove and then you stop, right? Because you don't know if you're going to get kicked off or not. So you have to change the format a little bit, which is annoying. Because when you're DJing, there's certain songs you feel like you can't make a set list until you start playing, and once you start playing, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, let me go into this. Oh no, I can't. Oh, let me go into that. Oh no, I can't. So that sucks. But it's really hard to do a good job like you did tonight. So I just
Thanks.
want to
Because
compliment you.
I think you got
I caught about 8 seconds of your show, and it was phenomenal.
That's the best 8 seconds of your life, brother.
Hey, 8 seconds is all I got today. That's all I can give.
Call me tomorrow, honey. I'll be back.
Yeah, but and then not even call me tomorrow. Just whatever. Just close
Hey, I
the
gotta
car
say some
door
shout
because it's
outs, man.
getting
We got
cold.
my brother Ralphie. Hold on, we gotta do some shout outs. Ralphie
Wait, so I
out of
wanted to say
Arizona.
something, and hi, Ralph, and I wanted to say something, and I just wanted to finish what I was saying.
Go ahead.
So, getting back to music, you mentioned Out of Control and other stuff. Okay, so there was. Oh, there we go. What the hell was that?
I forgot the laptop is a touchscreen, dude.
Oh, yeah. That's dangerous when you're DJing live because sometimes when you touch the screen, it could really.
But what if
mess
I
it
want to
up.
touch the
Anyway,
screen and go wiggy, 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 wiggy?
right. Well, okay,
So
so
go
let
ahead,
me
Ray.
finish what I
Frank,
was
we
going
were
to
talking
say.
about Out of Control, the FHR project,
Yeah.
Linda Rice, Mike Young.
So during the whole house music explosion, there was only a couple of records that were on the radio because you got to remember in the early 80s, early 90s, going into the late 80s, early 90s, radio stations wouldn't play any house music. They just wouldn't play it. The only way that house music took off is from the DJs and the nightclubs, okay? And in the mix shows on radio stations around the world. The record that broke that barrier, the record that radio stations started playing, radio stations like B96 in Chicago, KTU, BLS, Hot 97 in New York, KTU in LA, BBC One in England. Those radio stations, the first record that on a pop level that played with Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey, and Vanessa Williams. She had Saving the Best for Last, 1992. I have to say, there was like 2 or 3 records that really broke it and crossed over on the radio. And Out of Control was the first record that was a pop hit before Yolanda, before Booty Call, before I Can't Turn Around, Love Can't Turn Around, all that stuff. Out of Control was in heavy rotation on about 30 radio stations around the country and in Europe. Played 10 times a day and during the day. See, records get night parted, day parted. Out of Control was on during the daytime at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. You would hear it, and you would hear Out of Control all the time. Then, so that was the first record. Before Booty Call, before Yo-Yo Get Funky and all that, none of those records were played on the radio in regular rotation.
Well,
Not even You Used to Hold Me. You Used to Hold Me was never played in regular rotation on radio in Chicago. Never. Until late 90s. In the mix by the Mix Masters, which was your record, which I know you kick yourself in the ass because you should have named it somewhere with your name on it.
Yeah, we both know
And
that.
I know why you did it. I know why you did it with Mix Masters is because we all have this problem like putting our name on shit. It's like, oh, I don't want to put my name on it because you feel like egotistical, like if you look at the FHR project, Out of Control, the reason why I called it the FHR project instead of Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez is because I didn't want anybody to know that I really did the song. I wanted to use my little initials and call it the project because I didn't want anybody to be biased and say, "Oh, that's Frankie's record. He's not a recording artist. He's not a, he can't sing. He can't write music." And it really does. It's true. People get pissed off. So that's why you use the mix masters instead of Martin Boogeyman Luna. You didn't want anybody to pick it up and go, Boogeyman, he can't do records. And they throw it out because there's this huge jealousy thing with artists and DJs and everybody else. Today, DJs are more accepted that most people look for a DJ's name on a record. But back then, they didn't. They didn't. And if your name was on it, people threw it out. They just, oh, this guy's a DJ.
Yeah, well,
What does he know
that's the
about music?
Chicago. That's the Chicago curse we talk about often. I mean, there's
Yeah,
like,
Chicago sucks when it comes to that. It's not a good town when it comes to embracing the arts. That's why, John Belushi, Bill Murray, and all these guys had to leave and go to New York and California. That's why a lot of recording artists that were big in Chicago had to take off and go to New York, LA, and around the world. So you have Out of Control, you have the mix masters in the mix, which for that brief 30 seconds that Madonna used it in the video, forget about that. That didn't take the record off. In the Mix took off from the nightclubs. That was such a signature record that it was used so much in the clubs that just that dub version, that. I mean, it was used in 10 different records. Crystal Waters stole it. RuPaul stole it. All these different artists stole that record because of that little hook in it, and now we're chasing ourselves. And I find myself, there's a video on YouTube. So anyway, that's the second record. The third record is, it's a toss up between Booty Call and the Percolator. Those were like the three biggest mainstream house records ever to come out of Chicago. Not Used to Hold Me, not Love Can't Turn Around, not any of that crap. I mean, not crap like it's bad songs. It's just that they weren't mainstream pop songs. They weren't structured mainstream pop songs. So you had In the Mix that took that underground level, and then it was so much that Madonna would dance to it in the nightclubs, and they put it in the movie. You had Out of Control that was a great, I'm not patting myself on the back. It is what it is. It's a great pop. It's just a pop dance song before all those other groups came out, LMFAO, CC Music Factory, and all that stuff. So, it was a structured pop song. Booty Call, Percolator, and then Yolanda. Yolanda really took off. Yolanda came out after Out of Control, and it was based around the same type of melody and music because the same people worked on Out of Control did Yolanda. So those three songs, 4 songs, were the reason why house and dance music in the early 90s, late 80s went pop, and it sucks that it's still being used today. So if you go on YouTube and you go to Out of Control, if you punch in Out of Control, you'll see a bunch of different versions of the song. And then you're going to see a couple of kids in Europe that are at a nightclub playing the song live, like playing it on keyboards. And they were in Norway at a party playing the piano live, and they're singing it at a party at a bar, just like singing songs at a bar, like you would go into a bar and hear people sing songs. So I got a hold of them and I said, "Wow, I wrote that song," and they were like, "No, you didn't." And I go, "Yeah, I did." And they said, "No, you didn't. That's by Linda Rice, and it's The Project." So I said, "Yeah, it's FHR, The Project." And they were like, "Right." And then I go, FHR stands for Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez. And they're like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So again, when Out of Control came out, just like the Mix Masters in the mix, um, I was afraid to put my name on that record because I didn't want the jealousy of other DJs saying, and it wasn't the street DJs, but it was the guys on the radio. You know what I mean? They'll look at it and go, "Oh, we're not playing that."
But look at
And
it
I know
like
you ran
this.
into that. You ran into that problem too.
Well, look at it like this. With me putting Boogeyman on a record back then, it was like a thought, but I didn't see me as a face for an act to be on stage. I didn't want to be on stage. I wanted to be in, like Quincy Jones in the background. Like everybody, nobody knew Quincy did so much music for all these artists until years later. He just sat back, relaxed, and collected royalties and income like that. And he didn't have to work his butt off, only in the studio, but not on stage. And then, like you said, critique. I think everybody has a fear of not wanting to deal with it. So yeah, I went with my tag Mix Masters, which was the DJ group. We were a DJ team back then and still are. And I went with Mix Masters, and I figured it was a great way to advertise. Everybody always said I had a niche for advertising, so I said, hey, what better way to do it than put it on a record? And then even on the bottom, I did my special thanks to like Benji Espinoza, rest in peace, who got me into the industry and making house music, and like Yaya and everybody else that was around me. And I put and special thanks to the Mix Masters DJ team. It's like best way to advertise. And then it blew up out of nowhere. But I did a few records before that. My first release was House Express, which did well in Italy first, in Europe. And then the flip side was Pump It Up Homeboy, which did really good. D-Mob used that in the background of one of their records. I never got anything for that. And then following up with that, I did Cool House with Tyree. Me and Tyree did Cool House, Rock This Party Right. And You Got the Power. And Cool House was also using Monkey Say, Monkey Do and other records. And that's another story. And then not recently. And then after that is when I did In the Mix. And the reason I did that record, kind of touching base, Chicago wouldn't really help me. All the radio DJs, etc. Not all of them, but some radio DJs wouldn't even play records I made because they had their own thing about me.
Well, here's the reason behind that.
Real quick, the reason I'm saying about In the Mix, Frank,
yeah.
the reason I'm in the mix, what I'm saying is that I had to go outside of Chicago, and I knew that I had to make a record without vocals because it's the Gong Show in New York, which New York was big for breaking records outside of Chicago, and Chicago wasn't going to do it for me. So I had to do a sound for New York with that sound, and then it happened. It just fell into place. And that's why Madonna picked it up because, like we know, she heard it, I guess, like Junior Vasquez playing it in the club, et cetera, et cetera. But then I made a hip house version on that too, which kicked in later because all of a sudden the Chicago DJs,
yeah,
radio
but
DJs,
that wasn't the version. The version was that instrument.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that the Chicago DJs on the radio, all of a sudden, they recognize that New York beat them to the punch, and then a lot of them used to use that Chicago version versus that one.
Well, here's the thing that pisses me off is that there's this huge competition between New York, Chicago, and LA. Mainly New York and Chicago, not LA. But there's this huge thing, between both those big cities. And Chicago's its own worst enemy. Because the people in Chicago do not embrace anything that goes on in this fucking town. It's sad. Do you want to know a story? I'm going to tell you a quick story. In the peak of the Hot Mix 5, when we were all in the Hot Mix 5, myself, Kenny, Julian, Farley, Mickey, Ralphie.
Isn't it like the Hot Mix 5086 now or something?
It was like
no, now it's like everybody.
Yeah, now it's just ridiculous. Well, everybody's in the Hot Mix 5 now. It's stupid. So, but listen to this. We had the biggest show on the radio in the 80s. This is before B96. This was like 83, 84, 85. It was huge, huge, huge numbers. Everybody was listening to us on the weekend. Everybody was listening to the lunch party, the mix at 6, the mix at 8, the mix at 10. I went to Kenny and I said, Kenny, you know what we got to do? We got to
Kenny
hire a
Jason.
publicist. Yeah, I go, we got to hire a publicist. We got to pay people to tell this town, Chicago, how big we really are. I mean, we were running the radio station. I mean, the BMX at that time, 102.7 FM, was so huge with the mix show that we were just blowing it up. We went to the largest public relations firm in Chicago on Michigan Avenue. The name of that person was Margie Korshak. She had the number one public relations firm. This was a firm that could take you and put you on the next level, get you on TV and the movies, all the newspapers, and really blow it all up, okay? We went there with a stack of paperwork and showed her all the ratings. I mean, how popular we were, all the stuff we're doing. And she looked at us like we were crazy. Who are you? Huh? What?
On Michigan
Every
Avenue.
time you opened up every time you opened up the newspaper, you heard the guys on GN, or you heard, a bunch of guys that were 70 years old. It's just like, this is not what's happening in the streets. And I hate to say it, but Chicago did not embrace the DJ scene. They just didn't. They didn't at all. It was
Everybody
so
wanted
hard.
to be top dog.
Yeah, everybody wanted to be Steve Dahl or Howard Stern or whatever. And when you said you were a DJ, you got frowned upon. All the bands that came out of this town, a lot of them did not embrace the DJ scene. They were jealous because the DJ started taking over the band scene, see? And not that the band sucked.
Well, we knew
It's
that.
just
That's when the bands used to always make sure the DJs didn't have bass and everything when they were running the
right.
system. They always made us
They
sound
would
like
turn the
crap.
sound down a little bit, so that you didn't have that oomph and
Graham,
power.
Graham.
Yeah. So, it sucked. And today, you have the kids in Europe that were listening to all the stuff that we did. And they just took over and did a phenomenal job. They took it to such a higher level. They can write, they can produce, they can play instruments, and they did it right. They had the backing behind them, So how many records, this is my point, how many records did you make? 15?
On vinyl
Yeah.
or
No,
recordings.
just anything.
Well, vinyl, on vinyl, I did 13, 14 singles. No, 11 singles, and then 3 on after the vinyl stopped being pressed.
Okay, so here's my point. How many of those records that you did were the number one song of the year or the number one record on the radio?
None, not even that I can think of
Now
in
check
another
this out.
country.
This is the fucked up thing. I had 3.
Okay.
And I had to fight everyone in this town. I had the number one song on the radio on the number one radio station in Chicago. The number one radio station in Chicago. It had more listeners than anybody. I took that record, went to the neighboring radio station. They told me to get lost.
Well, I
They're
was
like,
around that,
they go, no, that's a B96 record. We can't play that record here. What? It's the number one song on the radio. How could you not play it? I had to go out of town. I had to go to Milwaukee. I had to go to Wisconsin, Indiana, Tennessee, New Jersey. New York was really hard to get the record played on the radio, but I did it.
Benji helped you with that, right?
No, I did that one on my own. Benji helped me all around the world. But the point I'm trying to make is And then everybody says, oh, they took over in New York. They claim to be the house music capital, and the kids in Europe took over the whole scene. Yeah, because of the jealousy and bullshit that goes on in Chicago. That's why. It's just like Chicago is just, they don't embrace the arts. They don't. They really don't. This town is so corrupt, and it just fucking sucks. It just sucks. The whole town sucks. If we would have left, if you would have left Chicago and showed up on the doorsteps of New York with In the Mix, you'd be a millionaire today. Because they would have put you in the studio with a bunch of musicians, production people, and they would have said, okay, let's start producing music. See, that's the thing that a lot of people don't know. It's not usually one person. Well, today it is. I mean, they're pretty good today.
You have different teams in different studios. You
You
have
have a team of
musicians.
people, and you get creative, and you get the juices flowing, and you start writing. You know what I mean? Here, we were in the studio by ourselves. And I got
We
to
had
tell you
three
something.
studios access at that time, but you also had Chicago Tracks. You had the other studios. Sound was the other
Yeah,
two
but
you had?
that's all. That was all underground stuff. Listen, the Hot Mix 5 records back in the day were underground tracks. They were good stuff. There was some good stuff, but it was underground tracks. It was all stuff on the underground. The stuff that came out during the B96 times, if you look at it, was more mainstream. That was Booty Call, Percolator, Yolanda, Out of Control. I mean, records like that really started becoming mainstream. And that's when uh, all these other towns started saying, hey, house music can be on the radio. House music can be pop records. Let's start making some pop house music records. Show Me Love, Crystal Waters. But those records were produced by Chicago people.
Or remixed. I
That
mean, it's like Steve Hurley went out there, did a lot of those remixes and popped them up.
Yeah, Neil, guys that stole your record, guys that stole the hook of In the Mix were from Chicago. You know that, right? The
Yeah, I
Out Here
remember.
Brothers was the biggest one. Out Here Brothers with the boom 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 and all that stuff. That's played in stadiums, dude. That's played in like soccer stadiums with 100,000 people in them. You can go to an NFL game. You can go to see the Bears play, and in the middle of the game, you'll hear boom boom boom. Let me say yeah, yeah. Well, that's Chicago. You know.
Well, to recap on that a bit, as a DJ, and I fortunately got into radio early with, working on college radio, WCRX and all. And then I moved up to GCI right after that. And that was when you guys left. But
Yeah.
during that time, that's when I learned a lot about the politics that were crap. I mean, I am a witness. I've seen a lot of Chicago artists with heart really struggling to get their records on the radio. And then meanwhile, in the background, other key DJs and artists would do everything they could to stop the progress of it and slam it because it
Yeah.
was good or better than theirs, especially. And sometimes, and people knew that. Some guys thought they could just pop on a 909 and throw a sample in, and you're supposed to play their record. And like your record or with your production on it, you did that on a 24 track.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Out of Control was done on a 24 track, and then I got so pissed off of the quality of Out of Control because, again, we were using a studio that just sucked. And, and,
Well, I'm
and,
saying generally,
no,
what I'm saying is
it
that
sucked.
you
But
put
no,
all that,
we jumped to 48 tracks
yeah,
on it
because it
to
was
get it right
virtual, it
and
was
all
a
that other
virtual
stuff.
24. You were able to double up on
No,
each track,
no, it
right?
was analog. It was tape. It was a 24 track studio. DJ International Studios was a good studio for some things, but when it came to getting that big, clear, big sound that they have today, that they call big room dance music, It just never hit it. The board was not clean enough for that, and neither were the way things were set up because it was analog. It was just not. It just the difference is you're talking about $1 million board, and then it gets dumped down to a tape recorder to record everything that you're doing. And that tape recorder that we recorded on was pretty shitty. So that's why we got that muddy type of sound. Some songs sounded great, but no, not the big production songs. They were.
But
Bad.
wasn't that the standard tape machine everybody else used? We had Tascam, right?
Yeah, but you got to understand the heads on that machine. No, it was a Studar. The heads on that machine were bad, and they weren't going to pay 10 grand to fix
That's what it
or
was.
line those heads and clean it up. It's big money to maintain a studio, especially with analog tape. Because think about it, just like a tape recorder, that tape is moving. That machine was used 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. When can you take that machine and break it down and say, okay, nobody can record and use the studio today because that machine's going in to get realigned and repaired? Can you imagine that if it was broke down for like a week or two?
So I guess that's why it was pretty unique for the starting brand new artists like myself and everybody else back then, that we went direct to like reel to reel sometimes, basically.
No, it's the 24 track.
Yeah, I
It's the
know that, but I mean
recorder. It's the
some
big
of the
tape.
stuff they used to like just to. I mean, they used to go like direct just to the tape, because
Believe it or
remember they
not,
used
the
to sneak them
16
across the
track,
streets.
the 16 track recorder that they had downstairs in the basement was better than the 24 track.
That's what I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what they did like Promised Land on, right?
right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of
So
records get
anyway,
on up,
again,
everything else.
again, yeah, there's a record that I did that never came out. Uh, I have a test pressing of it. I have an acetape of it. It's Daryl Pandy singing, Joe Smooth's on it, Reggie's on it, Reggie
Benjamin.
Hall.
Who? Oh,
No,
wait, I say
Reggie
Benjamin.
Hall. The kid that sings Promised Land, Anthony Thomas. Frankie Knuckles did production on the record and the mixes on it. My friend Hank, while you know him, did all the percussion and drum parts, and he's a Grammy artist, award-winning artist. I took the record and I did it in a major recording studio, and it took a week to lay down all the vocal parts and everything in it. And the record really sounds good. It's just that I was so pissed off at the label, I didn't want to. I didn't want to release it. I listened to it the other day, just for the hell of it. Sometimes I go back and listen to songs, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, wow, this is a really good song. It's a good pop record. It could have been a big record like Out of Control. There's so many records I did that were better than Out of Control, and I never released them because I
You
was
know what?
mad.
I've always differed with you on that. I mean, you like get it right, but
I love Get It Right.
I'm gonna tell you, Out of Control, just I don't know, it does it for me big time. I mean,
I don't.
I'm a
I never
witness to
play
it.
the song.
Yeah, but even in the clubs, I played Get It Right. I played all the records.
Yeah, I know. Get It Right's a radio record. It's not a club record. You're
But
right.
that's what I'm trying to say.
It's not a radio.
Under
It's not a
Control,
club record.
no problem. That was a
Well,
no problem record.
again, Julian had a drive-in show where there was, I don't know, 4 or 5,000 people there and a couple million people online listening, and I laid down in the mix the that, and I started laying acapellas down over it. So this went on for about 2 minutes, and that beat for in the mix is perfect. Doom, 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 doom. The bass line is perfect to overlay stuff on top of it because it's such a familiar hook because everybody stole it that everybody knows it. It's really bizarre. And if you say, hey, Boogeyman did that record. No, he didn't. That guy did the record. And then you could say, that guy did the record. And they'll go, no, he didn't. That guy did the record. There's like 10 different people that use that
Yeah,
record as their record.
Tyree Cooper, the producer, awesome super duper trooper. I was talking to him the other day, and he brought up two more names that he said were going around. Actually, three around Europe, Germany, Belgium, and saying that was theirs, my record. But again, I told him, I said that was my fault. I said I never ID'd me with the record. I always put me as a remixer on it or a producer, real small letters. But I don't know. I guess like Masters at Work, didn't they have they have their names underneath it?
Yes.
See, I never did the right underneath.
See, the problem is this, is that when you work under a name like the Beatles, okay? So right away when I say to you the Beatles, what's the first name that pops into your head?
Me, Paul McCartney.
There you go. So anytime anybody mentions the Beatles, it's always Paul McCartney. And it's only because John Lennon's dead, right? And Paul McCartney's still touring. What would you think it'd be like to be Ringo Starr and George Harrison?
No, Ringo ain't so bad. He has a pretty good life.
Well, that's the thing, he's worth, Ringo's worth $100 million. So I'm sure,
And
but there's an ego thing.
Got to start with Raquel Welch, caveman movie was.
Yeah. It's just that, but back then, if you go back then, back in the 60s, early 70s, that's the reason why they broke up. Because people would say the Beatles, they would say, oh, that's Paul McCartney and John Lennon. Nobody would ever say, oh, the Beatles. Oh, yeah, George Harrison, Ringo. No. So when you look at CC Music Factory, you look at Masters of Work, you look at all those other producers and artists, there comes a time when they go, hey, you know what, the hell with this. I'm putting my name on everything. I did it all. And there's one guy, Jim, I can't think of his last name, that did Shannon, Let the Music Play. It's him singing. It's a guy that's singing under Shannon. He's a freestyle. He did all the freestyle records. I'm gonna tell you his name. You need to look
What
this
Cool
guy
Rock
up.
Steady say? Freestyle going broke.
Yeah, well, poor Cool Rock. I always thought that Cool Rock Steady was the number one artist that came out of Chicago. He just
Well,
didn't have the right
I can't wait for you to release that studio tape you have on when he was interviewed with you in at B96.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's ever seen it.
It's a half hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, of him talking about everything about how he started in the business and everything else. Let me tell you this guy's name. Hold on. You got to look this guy up.
Cool Rock's cousin was
Africa Bambaataa.
Africa Bambaataa, yeah. I DJ with Africa Bambaataa.
Yeah,
he used my records, and it's funny because when I was talking to Tyree, he was like, "No way." I told him he brought up how he talks to him all the time, Africa and Bambaataa, and I told him that when he came to Chicago to DJ for Tony Batory Party at the Rainbow, his luggage and everything got lost on a flight or transferred on the wrong flight, so he had no records to play with. So I let him use my records, and Tyree was like, he never knew the name of the DJ. He just said some DJ was really cool, let him use his records, and that was actually me. And it was, I'm gonna tell you the coolest part of it. He asked me what I had. I tried to accommodate, and one record I had grabbed for him because he knew it was Like This by Chippy.
Yeah.
And he grabbed, I remember I had a blue copy and a black copy. And I remember he puts it on the table, he throws it in like this, and he hurries to grab the other one. I know I'm quick. I know Bad Boy Bill's quick, everybody else. It's not like I've never seen this before, but he took these two records like this, and he just started like, and he took his headphones off. He's just doing it blank. blank, 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 blank. And it was like nothing. I mean, like he was just so light on his hands, nothing skipped, and he owned it. And I was like, man, African Bambaataa, awesome, live. And then I seen him in New York when we had to perform at the Palladium. My group Mixed Masters, Fast Eddie, and Tyree. And he's a great guy, African Bambaataa, and he still talks to Tyree all the time.
So all the freestyle music, like I swear I'm telling you the truth, like 75% of all the biggest songs from Shannon, Let the Music Play, George Lamond, there's a guy that produced and did all the background vocals, and he's uncredited. But you couldn't have a hit freestyle record unless you had this guy working on your song. So Chris Barbosa, all those other guys, they didn't do shit. It was this guy. It was one guy. This old rock and roll dude is actually singing and wrote those songs. Co-wrote them, co-produced them.
Hey,
You
wait a
gotta
minute.
look this guy's name up. You gotta look this dude's name up. And if you have your computer, I want you to look his name up. It's Jimmy Tunnel. Jimmi. Tunnel.
Like
He
the
spells his
Tunnel
last.
Club.
No, he
Yeah,
spells his last name
It says Jimmy
T-
Tummel with a M-I. It's a Jimi.
Jimmi. Tunnel.
Yeah, he's
This
got the first
dude,
ones that pop up are Monet featuring Jimmy Tummel, Give It to Me.
yeah,
All
my
in
heart
One.
gets all the breaks. You know the song by Monet, My Heart Gets All the Breaks,
Shannon,
and
let's
when
talk
it
about
comes
free
to
stuff.
it's a dude singing. It's him.
He's
This
a
guy sang
guitarist.
on like,
No.
yeah, that's him. That's him.
So, which song do you remember about him?
He did all of them.
But which one do you remember the most?
Let the Music Play, Bad of the Heart, all
Well,
that stuff.
Shannon's
He did
saying
them
that.
all.
What did he sing?
No. See, stop. You're not listening to me. Shannon sings Let the Music Play, correct? But that's Jimmy Tunnel's voice with Shannon. You know the part where it goes, let the music play and don't get away. All the hook.
You know, you're saying that perfect. I think you didn't sing that, dude.
Listen to me. Listen to me. It's Shannon's voice, but it's Jimmy Tunnel underneath her to make Shannon sound good.
I'm checking this out. I'm trying to find where. Let me see here.
No, he sang on all those songs.
So they mimicked his lyrics over his
No,
vocals.
you're not listening to me. No, you're not listening to me.
I'm not because I'm
He
looking here
sang,
after.
he sang the song, and Shannon sings over him or with him. Do you
So you're
understand
saying
that?
if you listen deeply, his voice is in there.
Every one of those records, every record, it's on there. And without his voice on that record, the record doesn't sound like
It
that.
says George Lamond featuring Jimmy Tunnel, Distant Heart. Yeah, you got a
He
lot of
did
Judy
all the.
Torres
He did.
featuring Jimmy
Yeah, he
Tunnel,
did. Yeah, he
Noel.
sang Silent Morning, all that shit. It's Jimmy Tunnel. So they would pay this dude to go in the studio, lay all the vocal tracks down, all the harmonies, all the background vocals, and the lead vocals. Then the artist would come in and just sing a track of lead on top of him or with him to make it sound good. Do you understand that? Does that make
I
sense to
get
you?
you. I get you.
So without Jimmy Tunnel, those songs don't sound that way. And here's my proof. Those artists don't have hit records anymore, don't they? They don't.
Well, they were
Why?
there and then they're gone.
Because it was him.
So this guy was rocking everything.
Everything. But somebody used him in a dance record back in the early 80s, like 81, 80. And when they heard his voice, how he could make himself sound like that, like a pop little star, then everybody used him. From George Lamond to Judy Torres to Cynthia and Johnny O to Shannon to Monet, all those Sapphire, Lizette Melendez, they all used him.
Well, I mean, I guess he's like a Nile Rodgers in a way. Nile Rodgers did everybody's music practically.
Correct. But he was a gun for hire. He made his little money, and then they kicked him to the curb.
Did he get paid right?
Okay, so his biggest record is Let the Music Play, correct? By Shannon. But he has no credit on it. He's not on the credits. So basically, they paid him. He did all the work, and they said, beat it. The music business is motherfuckers, man. They're a bunch of jagoffs. It's unreal. Just unreal. So this dude today is out in bars, out in Texas, just playing bars, takes his guitar, goes out there, sings songs, like little cafes, little bars, 50 people, 100 people. And I don't think those people know that he sang on all those fucking songs. It's the weirdest thing, man.
Here, I'm going to bring him up here.
He looks like an old rocker dude, you know? And he's got to be 70 years old.
This is him right there.
Yeah.
Now watch that. With this guitar. That was a 1985 CD release. And then right here,
and he plays,
on the bottom left, that's him today.
Yeah.
Here, let me try to open it up. That's him right there.
Yeah, that's him.
So that's the freestyle
That
man.
dude sounds like George Lamond and Cynthia and Johnny O and Shannon Let the Music Play. That's him. That's him. Jimmy Thomas.
Now that's a story. Wait a minute, have you been holding this one back, or did you just find this out?
I found this out about a year ago. Music business, motherfuckers. They, can you imagine a guy?
Dude, I just read his.
Think about it. Can you imagine a guy that looks like that, singing "Bad of the Heart"?
I mean, I just read his history.
Yeah.
And the guy, everybody said, like every freestyle artist I seen on the bottom of that list. I think the only ones I didn't see was like Pajama Party and Cover Girls.
Yeah, he probably
I seen
did
everybody
work
else.
on them
George
too.
Lamond. I've seen everybody. George Lamond, Judy Torres. You know, I didn't see Cynthia on there.
Yeah, he did that too, I think. And he did Company B, he did Fascinated, he did all that stuff.
I can't scroll all the way down, but let me see.
That dude was the money guy. He was the guy to make the record sound good. He would have made you sound good.
Let's look at his wiki.
Yeah.
He's out of Denton, Texas.
Yeah.
Pop R&B, jazz, classical.
Here's the cool thing. Getting back to the DJ stuff.
Hey Frank, just so you know, he's been active since 1980. Active.
Yeah, let the music play. Was the first record that he did that production on.
Okay.
So getting back to what's going on today. You know, I'm sure you get asked all the time, why don't you music or whatever. I get same question. Why don't you make some more songs? Why?
Yo, I think you kind of know my story. I won't say much.
Yeah, it's the same story. Why should I?
Because I gotta take care of the original business first, clear the air,
right,
with a clear mind.
But listen. it's been so long
And so everybody
since
knows
I
it's
had it.
professional music business, it's not personal life business. It's just
No,
professional
no,
music,
no,
stuff from
no.
the
We went
past.
we went back to what we originally do with just a bunch of fucking DJs. Okay? That's it. That moment is gone. You know what I mean? If for me to try to make a record today to be on the radio would virtually be impossible because it doesn't work like that anymore. Because you have guys like Justin Timberlake that come out with a new song and radio doesn't play it. Justin Bieber's got a brand new record out. They're not playing on the radio because they don't feel it fits right. But it's so corporate bullshit that goes on today that they only want to put a home run on the radio. They only want to put the same song that everybody's playing. So that's why today, when you hear an artist on the radio, it's played on the country station, it's played on the pop station, it's played on the mainstream station, it's played on the adult rock station. It's the they don't play anything new and different at all anymore on the radio. And the
You
mix
know what? I
shows,
couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even give you a response to that because I really don't listen to radio.
well, nobody
I
does.
mean,
That's
I
why
mean,
they're in trouble.
national radio.
Yeah. So if you came out with a new song, you can't give it to the radio station and say, here, try to play this. You would have to go back to the DJs back on the street. And here's the other thing you got to put it on YouTube and on the internet for free in order for somebody to listen to it and play it. So, how are you going to make any money? You can't. So, you got to go back to DJing. You got to go get a normal job. I have a normal job. You have a normal job. I don't give a
But
fuck.
dude, even back
I DJ.
then,
I DJ on the side to make money, you know. And now sometimes doesn't happen all the time. I hook on to a big name artist that brings me on tour. Then I have to stop everything. I can't work my regular gig during the day, and I got to go on the road. And I might lose that gig because I'm gone, you
well,
know. And I'll tell you who I'm working with. I don't care. Actually, I'm not supposed to say who I'm working with, but uh, because of
let's rephrase this. You're on DJ tour. Is that what you mean, or you're working with music? You mean?
no, I'm on tour with a major recording artist.
Okay, no. But you're talking about studio and working.
No, I'm DJing. I open up
Well, that's what
for
I'm
that
talking
artist.
about. Okay, I just want to throw see whoever's listening, the 1.5 people. We got that midget on here, so they they just don't know where you're at right now, what you're doing. Basically, I told them you're out of town, but
No,
so
no,
you're
no, no. Here, I can tell you. The reason why I'm not supposed to say is because we're doing a bunch of corporate shows, and if the companies
well.
found
Let's
out,
do it like this, Frank. Let's do it like this. If you can, why don't you just give us a variety of artists you worked on tour with in the
well,
last
here,
4
here,
years,
here, here.
and then you don't have to
I can,
say the name today.
like if I tell you
I
right
mean, if you say
now.
the name, shuffle it into the others
No,
right now.
listen. If I told you right now, because we're in Texas, right? So if I told you where I'm going to tomorrow, somebody from that company that hired this artist and myself, they would know. And it's supposed to be a surprise, right? So it's supposed to be a surprise like, oh my God, he's playing tonight.
Yeah, so don't even say it. It's just once again,
No,
just
well,
say.
no. Listen. I can tell you this. I can tell you this. So in the past 4 years, I've been on the road and opened up for uh, Foo Fighters, Carrie Underwood, Florida Georgia Line, Zach Brown. Who am I forgetting? Oh, Luke Bryan. Here's who I'm working with right now, but I can't tell you where we're going. Uh, you see this guy?
Kind of. Yeah, I kind of see it, but Yeah, it's a dude with blue jeans. Oh, it's dude with blue jeans.
Yeah, Dude with Blue Jeans I'm opening up for. It's called Dude with Blue Jeans.
Dude, that'd
So
probably be
the
the next hit record.
so the company doesn't like me going around telling everybody who we're working with because uh, they just don't. And I have to sign all these releases. Like I can't post stuff on the internet. I can't take pictures. Now, when the tour is over, I can post stuff. So in a month from now, I can post all the behind the scenes shit and everything else. But right now, I can't. And I think it's one of the probably top 10 songs of our lives. This guy had a hit with, you know, everybody still
Oh,
plays it.
oh, you mean a hokey pokey?
Yeah, I hope she pokes me.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I didn't. I don't recognize a lot of
Here,
artists' faces.
well, could you play, can you imagine this? If you were going to play a party and you wanted to get the crowd, and now me and you always were ripped on for playing cheesy anthem songs. Can you
Hmm.
imagine going a night without playing this guy's record, one of his records, at a party like that? You wouldn't be able to do it.
We got. Well, you know what? Let's just keep the mystery. Well, everybody could go to your page after today, and they could see who in the hell you're talking about. How about that?
So it's Bon Jovi.
On Hovid.
So yeah, so Bon Jovi. I mean, how how could you not include that guy's songs in one of the best songs ever? You know, "Living on a Prayer." How could you? How could that not be a good song? You know, how that song is definitely top 25 songs ever made, ever.
I mean, yeah, maybe 26, but not 25, dude. You know.
Oh, bullshit. You know it. That song will just get every, you know, there's that song is so universal. Black, white, Latino, European, anywhere you go around the world,
You could pee
you play
anywhere you
Living on
want.
a
If you're
Prayer,
a peeing, I'm a peeing
they
too.
all know
Okay.
the words. They all know the words of that song. And I was talking to you a couple months ago about if you had 5 songs to play, if you were going to do a
Oh yeah.
party and you needed 5 songs, I told you you can only play 5 songs and you better make these people go nuts. What 5 songs are you going to play? And
Well,
we all agree on 2 or 3
we
of
were
those songs.
brainstorming, but I mean, I can remember a couple. I mean, I remember like September, Earth, Wind, and Fire,
September by Earth, Wind, Fire is such a great song.
Flipping the Script, Suavemente, Elvis Crespo.
Suavemente by Elvis Crespo. Now listen to this. I could play now I'm playing rooms 30, 40,000 people.
Oh, and beat that
Okay?
bitch with a bat.
Beat that bitch with a bat and get the hole right there.
Oh no, the Spanish version though. Yeah.
Yeah, get the coge la ho, coge la ho, coge, coge,
Pégale,
coge
pégale.
la ho, coge,
Con la,
dame la
pata,
ho, dame,
la bata.
dame ho,
That's
dame
how
ho.
bad we are in our Spanish. You got last name Rodriguez, I'm Luna. Like, what
Yeah, none of us know Spanish. Dame la ho.
the
Um,
Okay, Earth, Wind, and Fire. September, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I said Elvis Crespo, Suavemente.
Suavemente.
And
And I'll
then
tell you the
we
new
had,
song that the new song that creeped up that ladder pretty quick was Dansecuro.
oh, yeah, we did that. Danzacura, yeah. Yeah.
That's another song that you could play anywhere in the world. Anywhere.
And there was the 2 more.
Yeah, Opal Gumban style.
Nah, 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 nah.
No, that song sucks.
Um,
Uh,
no, what were the other 2? We had all
I don't
5.
know. Maybe Barry White. Uh,
Nah, nah, because
you're the first, my last, my everything. That's a good song.
Yeah, but then it's just not that I'm gonna go get and kill everybody with that, and the floor's gonna go
And
wild.
run to the dance floor.
Yeah, run to
I
the.
think, but I think if you played Bon Jovi, "Living on a Prayer," they're gonna run the dance floor, dude.
It's
They do.
crazy. I remember I was playing at Crowbar. I was doing the main floor on Thursdays and Fridays, and even shelter. No, I mean not shelter, same people, but transit. And I threw that because we were playing vinyl. It was all vinyl back then, and I had that Guns N' Roses album, and I was using it for another night somewhere. Because you and I, we did diverse nights. We did different types of genres, and cheesy music too. And I threw that on the main floor, dude. Bartenders, everybody got me drunk like crazy after that, and people were going crazy on the
Which
dance floor.
song? Which song?
Living on a Prayer, and
"Living on a
then
Prayer" it's just huge,
yeah,
and to this
and the other
day,
song I played
it's so
was
big.
Guns N' Roses. The same
"Sweet
night I did
Child
it
of
too.
Mine."
I played Suavemente at Crowbar, and everybody
Yeah,
went crazy after jamming techno, EDM type stuff, house. They got crazy on that stuff, man. And actually,
yeah.
it was just something that we did, though. We
See,
were.
but that's the problem. That's the thing, is that you got to remember anybody can DJ and just play BPMs, and this record goes with that. This is 128 beat minute. That's 128. But then there's no excitement, and you find yourself spinning like this all night. You don't go up and down, and you need to take the people on a roller coaster ride when you're DJing, and you can't be afraid to come down and build up again.
Well, you're right,
And when you come down, you have to bring them down. You have to bring them down and then get them to go, okay. And then you work it right back up and they go,
yeah, but
oh,
Frank, that's
oh.
when we used to break music too, though. That was a habit because, and then professional DJs, we didn't look at ourselves like that, but we on a professional
Right.
level, the club owners loved us because we would rotate the bar. I remember I was at Prime and Tender one time, and Nick walks up and he's like, "Hey, I get it. You're a great DJ. Da da. You got the floor packed, but I need people to buy drinks. You got to play something that they're not really gonna dance to." And I'm like, and as a DJ that really wants to do his best every beat every night, I'm looking at him like, I'm like, you know what? Then I said, let me play that record because I was a Billboard reporter too, so I used to get all kinds of promos for Billboard magazine, being a promoter. I mean, and I put on, so I put on a record. I can't tell you what they were. I really can't, but I remember I said, let me try them now, and I tried these records, and you had three records. Back then, they didn't have cell phones, so you got away with it. Like we were talking about that too the other day. A couple of guys with me, where but they don't do that anymore. Breaking records. A lot of DJs have to all play the same songs every hour. But I remember
They all
they
share the
loved,
same thumb drive. It's
yeah,
terrible.
and they all and the bar owners would hire me based a lot on bar sales because I mean, dude, it's just like you. I remember you taught me. You got to play the song, man. You got to force people to buy a round of shots, like a song before that shots came out. I'm saying like something that's gonna make them reminisce and want to buy a
Right.
shot, like an old school record where they're
Right.
gonna say, "That was our jam, man. You remember that? Hey, bartender, get us a shot, get us a shot." And dude, one
Right.
song in a club with 600 people could sell 1,200 shots like that,
Right. Right.
and it was rotating the bar.
Right. And if a DJ turned the music off and just in the fucking peak time of the night, and you just turned all the music off, and you kind of just hold your glass up and go, I'm having such a good time tonight. I just wanted to have a shot with everybody in here. And
And
everybody was
you,
looking
but I know
like,
you'd
what's
be like,
going?
and hey, you blondie, you're coming home with me, or I'm not putting another record on. You know it, dude.
Hey, you blondie.
Yeah. Blondie was
I don't think
popular back then.
I don't ever think I would have said that in my life.
Chick in the red dress.
I Hey, you, Blondie. There'll be nothing played.
Hey,
Don't you
hey,
come over
you.
me right now. Hey,
You with the buck
you.
teeth. You with the buck teeth. I
You.
like you. Come here.
Yeah, you with your mouth's open. You, I like you.
Keep it like that.
Now that is something I would have said. You know, we used to play in the middle of the
No,
night.
no, you know what you'd say. You wait. You'd hope that the girls are standing next to some guys that are dressed wacky or something, and you'd put down the guys and tell them to drop those bums and come to you.
Yes, I
That-
would. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I would say, "Hey, you getting money from the state?" And they're like, "What? Money from the state for what?" I'd be on the microphone, no music playing, nothing. To have that mentally handicapped dude you're with, that's a nice way. I don't know. I'm not making fun of handicapped people, but
but back then,
yeah, I would say crazy
everybody
stuff like that.
was a target.
Hey, you want to know a funny story? In the peak of house music, 90, 1989, 90. I was spinning at Better Days in New York. Bruce Forrest was the DJ, right? I came in there to spin a night, and Better Days is kind of like a chicy underground, half gay bar or whatever. Who's that?
I'm just trying to
Somebody
get
calling?
comments in there because
Oh, nice,
they
nice.
can't get on the feed. Thomas Kevin.
So I go there. I go there to work the night, and they tell me, "Hey, you know what? You got to play underground music. You got a lot of gays that come in here, so you can't be crazy, Frankie. You got to be underground, housey, Frankie guy." I said, "That's fine. I could do that." So I'm working about an hour into my set, and the bartender and the manager come over and hand me a bottle of, and at the time, Jim Beam was big. You know, whiskey. Or was it Jose
Yeah,
Cuervo? It was one. It was
JB.
one of them. It might have been Cuervo. They hand me a whole bottle of Jose Cuervo while I'm DJing. So naturally, start pounding shots, and then my music format wants to have a good time, right? So I put the Blues Brothers, "Shake Your Tail Feather," in the middle of the night. This place is rocking, okay, rocking, and I stop all the music and I go, like Rocky in Rocky Four. I just want to let everybody know
All right, the Tiger.
if we could
Hey,
be friends.
Frank,
Uh,
Frank. Let me just do this real quick. You got Bobby Styles out there. Good old
oh, hey,
Bobby
I know
Styles.
Bobby.
Got Daz
Absolutely.
DR. We got DJ Daz. We got Maribel Flores. Been on for a while. We
Nice.
got a couple other people there. Oh, check this out. Um, let me see here. John Roca, I think, or was Bobby asking about John Roca? And then we got DJ Jerry Cristiano. Why Boogie can't stay on track in the conversation. He goes all over the place. Always has to be about him and self worship. Frankie top notch, always on another level. So
Wow.
Frankie
I
doesn't
guess I
have to
got to
say
send
it
this
for
guy
me.
another. I got to send him a gift certificate for Chick-fil-A.
Oh, Chick-fil-A. So
Wait, so getting back to my Better Days
no,
story.
I'm going to
Let me
interrupt you
finish
again,
this.
like you said, because I
Oh, okay.
interrupt
All
you.
right. All right.
Okay.
All
All right.
right.
So let me interrupt you. All right. Because basically this isn't planned for one. And I don't self-worship. If I was self-worshiping, what would I be doing if I was self-worshiping, Frank? Because see, everybody seems to forget how much I did for a lot of people in Chicago. And I never asked for names to say anything or
Oh,
nothing.
don't
But
even acknowledge it. Just forget it.
no,
The
but what I'm
future's
saying
busting
is
balls.
that they don't bother me. But once again, people just don't know. And when we come on like this is fun. I don't have a script here. I don't have like nothing. We just talk. And if we were next to each other and he wasn't out there on tour, we'd probably tell each other to shut the hell up half the time because we all want to get our 2 cents in and make the dollar eventually because that's the way we do it.
Right.
So, anyways, but hey, God bless you
All
all.
right. So getting back to the Better Days story. So I'm in this New York underground, about 70% gay. And just to let everybody know, I started out DJing in gay clubs. So, which that's how I started spinning. So anyway, uh, the I'm the guy hands me a bottle of Cuervo. I start doing shots of Cuervo. And Terry Baldwin, God rest his soul, Terry Housemaster Baldwin was in the DJ booth with me, and we were both getting wrecked, dude. And he's handing me records, and I'm playing them, and he goes, if you had any balls, you play this record right now. And it was "Shake Your Tail Feather" by the Blues Brothers. And I go, I can't play that. And he goes, you would if you were back home. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. So I turn all the music off. I get on the mic. New York clubs, you never heard the DJ talk on the mic. Nightclubs in Chicago, you never heard the DJ talk on the mic and said, "Last call," right? Or "Frida." So
Yeah, right. Remember the Freedom
I
story.
I go, I got to play for you the hottest song. I still do this today where I'll break the music down. I'll say, I just want to play a song today that I used to find my mom and dad having sex in the bathroom. And this was the song that they were having sex to. I wasn't going to play it tonight, but I'm going to play it anyway. And I put on some crazy song, right? Just to break the night up and then jump back into a hot song. So I did that at Better Days. I go, I just want to play for you the number one record around the world. I go on, I'm really honored that you guys can hear it for the first time with me. What I heard about the fella you've been dancing with all over the neighborhood. And I go on the dance floor. There's no one dancing. Everybody just like walks off the floor, like 300 people on this floor with this monstrous sound system. And I walk out there with the bottle of Cuervo and start doing the whole "Shake Your Tail Feather" shit. There's people dancing on the tables. They're grabbing people, putting them on their shoulders. And the owner runs up to me and goes, "Can you come back tomorrow night?" And I'm like, it's never going to happen 2 times in a row. Like, this is going to be a rare thing. If it happens one time, it's never going to happen again.
That was
and I think that's what people lost in the nightclub. I mean, they nightclubs today are so predictable. Everybody plays the same 10 old school songs, the same 10 songs over and over. And you know what they say? Well, but that's what the people want to hear. No, it's not. You can play those songs, but mix it with the other. Reintroduce. You're telling me all those years on the radio, the 30 years that I was mixing on the radio, that there's only 10 fucking songs?
Well, if you remember, I'll remind you. I know you remember. We used to DJ as a one DJ person, not 5 of us all night. And we programmed. So, we started at like 9 p.m. to 4 or 5 in the morning. And if Pump Up the Jam was the hit, or Fast Eddie, Yo Yo Get Funky, etc., whatever that hit was that month, you would know that you had to play that at probably 10:30, 10 o'clock to get the floor started up. And then you had to probably play it again at around 12:30 to get, 1:30 for the late people coming from the
Well, you
bars.
got to remember, nobody stays in a nightclub more than 2 hours.
Well, back then,
Maybe three
they
tops.
did.
They're not going to stay there long.
No,
No, they're
right.
not going to stay there.
In the 80s, they did. What are you talking about?
Not really.
Oh, yes,
No,
they did.
Boogie, they
Because
would either come in. They would come in at midnight and stay there till close till 3 in the morning.
They would
They're not going to
start,
come in at 10.
but they would start up. Like I said, that's why I said 10:30. But they would start up at a neighborhood bar, or they go out to
Yeah.
eat, go to the movies, and then they would
Yeah.
start coming in around 10, 10:30, 11. And then what I was saying is that's where you would start off your night moving your best hits. And then you knew you had to hit around a
Right.
1:30, 2:30 again on that same song, but you probably didn't play that same song more than twice. And if you wanted to close the night out with a big bang, you would throw that one hit again, finally a third time right before closing. But you didn't play it every hour.
Right.
That's what I was.
And today you have 5 DJs in the club, and they all spin a half hour, and they all play the same 10 records over and over and over, and it fucking sucks. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts because they're all playing off the same thumb drive. They're all playing off the same shit, and it's just the same crap over and over and over. And I'll tell you what, I will challenge anybody to this. If I gave 3 DJs 5 songs and said, here's your 5 songs, you can only play 5 songs. Here's the 5 songs you're going to play. I will not sound like any of those DJs playing the same 5 songs because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Now, there's some guys out there that know what they're doing, of course. But the majority of people that are out there that are DJs, which is about 95% of them, have no clue what the fuck they're doing. None.
Well, they weren't raised by a wild pack of DJs.
Well, they didn't know what it was like to work at a club and have to look over your shoulder every 5 minutes and have the owner of the club screaming and yelling at you, and it sucked, man.
Oh man, it was we were monitored like crazy. I mean, I remember at Prime and Thunder, I used to have the house phone right behind me, and I would play a certain record, DJ house phone.
Yeah,
take that off. I'm like, take that off. Like, they're all dancing to it. No, I don't want that played here.
Right.
Same thing downtown. Downtown. I mean, when I played on Rush Street, I couldn't play anything. Man, I mean, underground music there at that time was probably like Angel Eyes and stuff like that. You couldn't get away with even playing too much hip house back then for a minute.
Couldn't even play Angel Eyes.
Well, I remember playing Angel Eyes and stuff like that.
I couldn't play that on Rush Street.
But you were on Rush before me.
Yeah, I was on Rush Street before a lot of people. But you know what? I remember, I remember owners of all the nightclubs telling me the same thing, in a nice way. No black music, and then they would tell me no BMX music, no Hot Mix 5 shit. And I was on the Hot Mix 5, and I was on the radio, and they had me there because of that. But yet they wouldn't let me play the songs that were on the radio because they didn't like the crowd the crowd that would come in. So guess what I would do? I had to learn how to play those songs on the radio and mix them with other songs that they wanted me to play and get away with it. So they would go, is that Chip E in the background? And I would just go, no. Is that house song? No. You know what I mean? I'd be mixing it in over on top of layering things. Yeah, mashing up before everybody knew what a mashup was. Is that right? Is that Tyree and Fast Eddie under Billie Jean or wanna be starting something? On that Mama Say, Mama Sa, Mama Kusa, I would have the whoop, yeah, on top of that and all this other stuff. And just to make, and they go, no, he's playing Michael Jackson. He's not, because they were so paranoid and racist and everything else. It was just disgusting. It was.
And you know what? I'm not going to go crazy on that, but I it's really crazy about. I mean, we all went through that. You can't play this. They used to use the word too, like don't play any of that jungle music, and. Right. But then it was at anything. It was aimed at people that just didn't fit their eyeballs. It's like you really, if you came out from the neighborhood,
times were changing. See, I DJ'd a little bit before you started, maybe 4 or 5 years before you started. So you had the end of the disco era. And the disco was all the shishi foo people, and it sucked. It sucked.
Well,
I
it
mean,
is.
the
Yeah,
music
that's
was awesome, but the nightclub sucked. And it was a crowd that I never liked. And I just wanted everyone to relax and belly up at the bar and tap their toes and listen to good music. And that's what I do. So I think the house music and the DJ music broke that barrier where it just made everybody just want to go out and have a good time and dance. And you didn't, no matter what you look like and no matter where, who or what you were, you just liked the music and you wanted to party and dance. And that's what, you know, that's what that house music crap was all about. And I say house music crap because not that the music sucked. I say crap because I'm so sick of that word house music. I wish it never was invented.
probably a
I,
curse.
because, oh, it's just terrible.
I mean, it was
What
a
people
curse to be
conceive
to label.
of, yeah,
And you're right, because with a
it's
lot
just,
of the production that was put into the house records back then, if they wouldn't have labeled it as house, it would have probably found its way into the mainstream a lot easier without trying to use that term
right,
behind it.
right,
They would have probably accepted it a lot quicker. I mean, as
right.
far as other like what was it, you got your market three, right? You had New York, LA, and
New York's the
Chicago.
biggest market. LA's the second biggest market, California. And then you have Chicago as the third biggest market.
Yeah, and what that's what I'm saying. Like if they didn't that house label wasn't on it, they would it was a lot of them would blew up because
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize the struggle, like grabbing records and going out of town and bringing them to radio stations and having them tell you right to your face, "Oh no, we don't do that house music crap. Get out of here. Get out
but
of here.
dude, I remember when I was at
Get out
GCI,
of here." It
Frank,
sucked.
and you could tell it the same way, I guess. But I remember when I was at GCI and I used to go turn in my tapes for the show during the week, and
Yeah.
I used to see every Tuesday. I think it was Tuesdays and Thursdays, but for sure Tuesdays, the lobby was full with of nothing but promoters with records in their hands
Yeah, right,
and
right,
cassettes
right.
because
Every
they
radio
would go to
station
have
has a day where the record companies show up with the new music.
what
Right.
was it called? What day was that called? It was a promotion day,
Record
the
day.
rocket promoter day.
Record day. Record day.
Yeah, so and they used to just go in there wishing. It was just a wish list. And then
And I'll
little
tell you
did they
funny. Yeah.
I'm just saying little
When
did they
when
know it was about money.
they didn't come in with bags of money. There's a whole
No, no,
nother
no.
part of
It
that
was
too.
about money, about the label behind you pushing the
Well,
money.
here. Let's clear that up.
Go ahead.
Being a radio guy, the it wasn't about a guy walking in with a bag of money. They did that in the 50s and 60s, but
I wasn't just
not
so you
like
know, I
that.
wasn't implying that.
No,
I
no, no, no,
wasn't
no. But look. But let me explain something to you. A number one record in Chicago. Okay, top 10 record in LA. I don't have New York playing the record. I fly to New York. I go to Kevin McCabe, who was running Hot 97. Number one radio station in America, Hot 97 New York. Number one pop radio station in America. They had more listeners than any other radio station. They were number one when it came to pop music. I walk in with my record. First thing out of his mouth, he's like, "Frankie, don't bring me that house music bullshit." And I'm like, "The song is being played everywhere, Kevin. How can you not play this song?" And he told me, he said, "Because you're on this crappy little label in Chicago, okay? I know you got all the other radio stations playing the song, but I got Madonna in the lobby begging me to play her new song. How am I going to tell her I can't play her song, but I'm going to play your song?" Now, here's the thing when you talk about money. How is how is that? How is out of control? So how is that going to support the radio station? Are we going to fly listeners to Jamaica? Are we going to show up to do shows for them? Is it just like just play the song and then I reap the wealth of them playing the song? They wanted me to support the radio station in some way. Can I show up and do concerts? Can I bring the group out there? Are we going to be accessible to the New York fans? Meaning that if they play the record, is the FHR project available to do shows in New York, promotional shows and stuff like that? Because that's what these other artists do. They're not just going to play my record and I never show up in New York anywhere.
Well, that's
So
when you were
that's where
pushing
you
your.
have the major labels, all the huge record companies buy ads on the radio station. They buy ads. They do the concerts when Prince comes to New York or comes to Chicago, or when he did, or the Foo Fighters or Bon Jovi or anybody else. The radio station would get free tickets to give to the listeners. 100 tickets, 200 tickets as a promotional thing, like a
That's
thank
what I
you.
meant by money, not money
That's
bags.
the bands would thank these people for doing stuff like that. So that's not payola, that's marketing and promotion. You know what I mean? So how are they going to play out of control when I can't do that. I can't I can't send 50 listeners to Jamaica. I would have to pay for that. You understand? So that's the marketing that goes on with these big cities. Now, that they don't do that anymore. Okay? Now one company dictates what's on every radio station around America. So you have to go to the main guy because the radio stations, there's only three companies that own all the radio stations. So you have to go to that company and say, well, you guys have 400 radio stations in America. I'm going to put $10 million worth of marketing behind this song. 10 million doesn't mean it's a hit. That's why you only have 4 or 5 artists on the radio, because nobody can compete with that. So in order for us to make a song today, that's what we have to compete with. So Bon Jovi's got a new record out. It's called Bon Jovi 2020. It's a new album, just like Justin Bieber's new album. No one's playing that. It's not because Justin Bieber sucks, because they liked him before, but they don't like his new stuff because it's not the bubblegum poppy shit that the money's behind. You see what I mean? So the radio stations only play who the major players. They only play the major players and whoever's marketing that player. You know, look at Pitbull. Pitbull was on every record ever made, right? He was on everybody's song. Everybody's song. You gotta have Pitbull. You gotta have Pitbull. You gotta have Pitbull. And then when they burn him out, they go to the next guy. Oh, you gotta have Nelly. You gotta have Nelly on. Do the rap. Nelly does the rap on everything. Before him, it was R. Kelly. R. Kelly's got to be on everybody's record. He's the big guy. Yeah, R. Kelly. Ed Sheeran, or Sharon or whatever his name is. He's got to be on everybody's record. So today, if we come out with a track, we have to put it on YouTube for free.
No.
And hopefully we can get 100,000 TJs downloading it and then come out with another record. You have to come out with a track every week.
SoundCloud, a lot of people use SoundCloud too.
And you ain't going to make any money. Hopefully you can get a DJ gig here and there out of it. It's hard.
Well, I guess the only people making money is in those cases are the ones working off the people trying, which would be like CD Baby and all those people. They get everybody to use their services, and then they get a lot of money for a lot of nothing sometimes. But these middle column publishing companies, you know what I'm talking about?
See, Lenny Rago just commented. Lenny knows because Lenny works with Seventh Heaven, which is the biggest band in Chicago, probably the Midwest. Seventh Heaven is the biggest party band ever to come out of this town in the last 20 years. Okay?
We used to open for them, right?
Seven,
DJ for them? Did
yes, we? I'm doing the boat cruise with them in March. I'm going to go on a cruise with them. It's a music cruise. I'm going to be opening up. Seventh Heaven is a well-oiled machine. Okay? That band is so flawless. They know exactly what the people want, and they give it right to them. Okay? But for Seventh Heaven to have a hit record on the radio, it would cost them millions. It's not worth it. And they come out with these great songs that you never hear on the radio.
But that's one of the oldest stories of independent artists.
Well, he wrote down Paul McCartney is the biggest songwriter in the history of the recording music, and they don't play his songs either. Well, the reason why Paul McCartney is worth $1 billion, I think his net worth is, by the way, I opened up for Paul McCartney. I forgot to tell you that too. I did 18 shows with Paul McCartney 2 years ago. The reason why Paul McCartney made all his money is because he started buying everybody's rights to everyone's music. So he bought all the publishing rights to many artists. You know, Paul McCartney owns the Notre Dame fight theme song.
He's just laying out there.
I think he bought the Tonight Show theme from Paul Anka that wrote it. So that's how Paul McCartney made all his music. He waited till these publishing people were selling their music, and then he started buying everyone's publishing. And then he rents it out to commercials and people that want to use it. And every time a song is played on the radio, and every time it's played on baseball games and football games, there's revenue that comes in. A song like Eye of the Tiger by Survivor, it was written by Jim Peterick and Frankie Sullivan. Every time that song is played, I think he makes, if I'm not mistaken, he makes like $500,000 a year just on Eye of the Tiger to this day.
That's because we watch Rocky like 20 times a day.
No, because it's played in all the stadiums. Come on, when your team is down and they're like, let's get everybody rumble. Dun, 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 dun. Everybody's like, yeah, dun, dun, dun. And, you know, another songs like that, Queen. Boom, boom, psh, boom, boom, psh, boom, boom, psh, boom, boom. The whole stadium starts rocking, dude. They get paid. If they win the championship, what's the song they play? We are the champions, my friend. They get paid. Everybody gets paid on publishing.
Well, isn't that Gary
why you're
Glitter's
not
song
getting
in there
paid?
too?
It's why you're not getting paid in the mix, because you have some legal issues with your publishing.
Well, that's all.
Think about the money you lost on that song.
Yeah, we know.
So when Out of Control was played for 3-4 years on all the radio stations, this is how much I made on that record.
No, you know. We all fall in different categories there. Okay? You know that, Frank.
And the other songs that I make that are on commercials and stuff, because we're in this legal battle with.
No, we both are. We know this. Yeah, we're going to get through it.
It sucks. So you have a sour taste in your mouth, and so do I. And when someone says, "Hey, you know, you should work on it," fuck you.
Yeah, I'm like.
It's over anyway, because the kids in Germany are making all the hit records, and they're really good. They're really good. Afrojack and Calvin Harris and, you know, Hardwell and, you know, all these guys, all the underground guys that make all these great songs. Avicii was making great songs till he passed away. I mean, these were very talented people. These people were extremely talented. And I like when some people go, yeah, but they had 10 guys in the studio. Well, so did the Beatles. They had George Martin. They had a bunch of other guys, too. It takes people to make music. You know, Prince, he had a lot of people in the studio with him. He had that whole band. He had Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis before they were anybody, when they were in the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It takes a lot of shit. There's only like one artist, I think, that worked completely by himself and made some pretty good songs.
What is that? That would be, hold on. That would be Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim. No, Freddie Fender. No, you know who it was? Buddy Holly would go in the studio by himself and record and engineer all his own music. And no one did that. They had to have 10 people in the room saying, I don't like that. I don't like the way it sounds. Nah, let's do something different. The artists back then were told what to do. And he was the first guy to say, hey, you know what? Fuck you. I'm doing my own thing. I'm doing my own thing. And I'm going to record it myself. Because the unions used to make the engineers record the music. You couldn't touch the tape recorder. You couldn't touch the recording equipment. He threw everybody out and said, I'm doing my own thing. And that's what happened with Out of Control. And then if you remember, you would be in the studio. I would come there and throw everybody out of the studio. I didn't want to hear anything from anybody.
It was a
And I
lockdown.
wouldn't let, yeah. And when I came out with those songs, I handed Rocky the record when it was finished. He never heard it. And I go, here it is. This is going to be the new song. And I just had in my head, I want a record on the radio. So I made that record for the radio, for B96. I wanted a record to sound like a B96 record. You know,
I
I
can't
don't
even
know what you
remember
did
what
when
records were exactly around that time it came out. Like, what would you say was comparable to on the top 10, top 20 at that time? What else was
CNC
playing?
Music Factory. CNC Music Factory. Strike It Up, Everybody Dance Now, you know. It was the same time. And you know what's ironic is that when I went on tour with that record, we went on the MTV Summer Music Festival. We opened up for Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, which that record was a house cut. That's hip house. That has all the elements. It has Lita Holloway. It has everything else, the piano parts. That's Out of Control. That's Yolanda. That's everything else. Marky Mark, Good Vibration. That's a great pop dance record. It really is.
Who were the key players in that, instrument wise?
I don't know. I think it was produced by his brother, Donnie D. For real. Uh, I don't know, but that's a Chicago house record if I ever heard one.
I mean, you got a lot of records. I mean, earlier you were asking me how many records I put out besides just vinyl. What else came out basically as a release? I know you're the FHR project, Frankie Alva Rodriguez, but you were also what, Lincoln Boys, and what else? Sly.
I would get so pissed off at making music that I went under a million different names and had like maybe 5 records playing on all the mix shows. No, Donnie D produced that record, his brother. That's an amazing song. Good Vibrations, Marky Markers. It's just it sounds just like Right on Time, Black Box. Black Box was the big record, the big artist back then. Remember that?
Yeah, but she didn't even sing that.
No, the Weather Girls sang it, right? All right. Anyway, but getting back to that other stuff, yeah, because of the jealousy of the other DJs, I didn't want them knowing that I worked on other songs.
Well, I had my other
And what's sad
aliases.
is all the street DJs played that record. You know who made Out of Control popular? The street DJs, the people in the street, guys like Mario and the Club and all those other guys. You know,
Bobby
they
Styles.
made that. Yeah, right. They made that record popular because the mix show guys didn't play the record. You know that, right?
But
My
that was
own
our
guys
story we were talking about earlier.
my own guys on the radio station did not play the song till later on. You want to know why they played it? Because it was the number one song on the radio. They had to play it.
But
I
remember the
remember
other.
going to I would never ask the guys that I was on the radio with, I would never come to them and say, here's my new song, can you play it? I would never do that to them. Never. Why would I ask them to play my song?
Well, I remember I had to tell.
If,
I was gonna say I had to tell like Benji for a minute back
Mhm.
then when he had the test pressings and took them to the radio guys in Chicago. I said, "Don't tell them it's me."
Right. And you know what's
Yep.
sad is like your record would be played in every single nightclub in New York. And whenever we would go to a seminar in New York or we'd go visit a club in New York, Palladium, any big nightclub, Tunnel, Sound Factory, you would hear in the mix. Dun, 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 dun. For like 2 or 3 years, you would hear that record. Come back home, nobody's playing it.
I still don't understand
Nobody.
it, but then I
No
do.
one.
But then I do, Frank, because I remember I made that record for out of state of Illinois because I wasn't gonna make it in a hip house thing until I did How Low Can You Touch Me. That did well for me with Tyrese, Sundance, and Fast
Right,
Eddie on there.
right,
But
right.
I
And you
you
know
know
what's
I
funny? Yeah. And then I tried to give in a little bit, right? Before Out of Control, I tried to give in a little bit and say, well, let me make a song that the DJs are going to play. Let me make a freestyle song that the DJs are going to play, right?
nah
So
nah.
I did Be My Baby. And the girl that sang it, fantastic, beautiful little girl, but her voice was not what I wanted. Okay? Again, she did an excellent job singing the song, but the girl that did the background vocals, Levi, was the home run to me, right? That girl that could take me to the next level. So we got through Nana. I made the most perfect freestyle record I could ever make. It was all the elements were there. It was perfect. I had the girl doing the leads. I had the girl doing the backgrounds. I had a guy doing the other parts. I had the great guitar parts, the great keyboard synthesizer. So many famous people worked on that record. It's ridiculous. And then it still didn't hit the way I needed it. And I remember I went to you and I said, "Hey, you got to do a remix on this record. I just don't." It's like a lot of artists don't like their.
Oh, we're gonna have to get Frank back on. Hold on. I did see him chopping up at the late part there, probably in his. There we go. Bring him
I'm
back
back.
on. Hold on,
Yeah, I'm
Frank.
back. Yeah. Hold
Yeah.
on. Uh,
Hey, Frank. Actually,
so
go ahead. But go ahead. I missed a question down there for you, but go ahead.
a lot of artists don't like their music. They tend to make songs and then they hate them and throw them away. You know what I mean?
Frank,
So,
I know, and that's what I was going to say a moment
well, let me
ago.
let me let me let me finish though. Let me finish. So when I did the "Be My Baby" record, I hated it. I thought it was great. I listen to it now. I think it's pretty fucking awesome. And but I wouldn't play it because it's not me. I remember I gave it to you and I said, "Here, just fucking. I don't care what you do. Just make something happen with this record." And when you did, when you did a remix on it, and I'm like, "Holy shit, this is a good song." And I always tell you that if I ever play that record, I only play your version. I don't play my version of that song. It sucks. So I have to thank you for that. I know I've told you that a million times. And I also will tell you that when you worked on GCI and we were on B96, that you weren't afraid to play our songs, my songs on your radio station, which you were competing against each other. Not really, but yeah, I mean, it was just another outlet, but it's another radio station.
Well, it wasn't
And
competing. It was just both going for number one radio station at the time.
no, listen, the
I mean, no,
GCI
we
was
weren't going
big
at each other.
with their people. B96 was their people, and there really wasn't a competition. Okay, B96 was just a phenon of pop. Okay, millions of people listen, and GCI is always going to be GCI. Their people are loyal to that radio station, so it's not a competition. It's just that's an outlet, that's an outlet, and you should not be prejudiced and just say it's a good song. It's a good song. Let's play it. And I will tell you again that the success of those songs that I came out with were only because of the street DJs.
I was going to tell
So
you,
what?
You went. Did you go blank again? Okay.
No,
Okay,
no.
cool. Well, I was going to tell you on what you said with not liking your record as much after all the time in the studio. I had the same thing, and
Right,
then kind of like how we said we didn't even want our names on the records really, and that's why
right,
we always had alias names. Well,
right.
I never. I felt weird playing my own record on my mixes. I never really played
Yeah,
my
me too.
records because uh,
Neither did I.
I just didn't. And then yes, I was burnt. I didn't. I was hearing them in the studio over and over. It's like my motivation was gone to play it. I didn't even. I
Right.
remember I used to be at the club and they used to say, "Hey, you haven't played your record," and I'm like, "All right." So I threw it on. But I think the only record I was really excited to always play though, out of mine, was How Low Can You Touch Me, because I had Tyree, Sundance, and Fast Eddie on there, and that was really a big deal to me that I had them on there. I remember Cool Rock Steady had the flu that day. If he didn't have the flu, I would have had all four of them. And then I mean, I was even excited to have Andrea Salazar that sang Forever or More, the final version with Troy Guy for Desire. I had her on a vocal on the flip side. I thought that was really going to kind of do radio. I actually did. It just didn't. I tried to be an out of control record, not like saying it against yours. I'm just saying you gave me an idea like, yeah, I got to have a girl vocal in there. I'll get on the radio. Radio just
But you
didn't
know what
happen.
it is too, is that y- uh, to write a record, it's all about the lyrics. It's all about the lyrics. If you can get everyone singing your song, the words to your song, and that's not an easy thing to do. It's not. And what you think could be a hit, like when I tell you "Get It Right," it's the best song I ever wrote. It's not.
Hey
It's
Frank,
up to the public. It's up to the public to decide, not you. What?
there's a question there.
What's my question?
I already know
Do
it,
you
but you.
have rights to those mixes you made back in DMX? Well, we can't own the rights to mixes because we're playing other people's music in the mixes. Okay, so we can't technically sell the mixes because we don't own the rights to those songs. Now, people sell their mixes, but that's bootlegging and it's illegal. It's illegal to sell mixes unless you contact the people that wrote those songs and cut them in for a percentage of the money. Now, people have been doing it forever. They sell their mixes online, they whatever. And I don't hate anybody for doing that. God bless them, but I've always had a thing where I'm not going to do it because I know as an artist, I get upset that we're not getting paid.
Well, I'll back you up because I remember I walked into Hot Jams when Pump It Up Homeboy came out back then. That was my flip side of House Express. And I walked in to see, I was going to Gramophone everywhere that day to see how my record was doing because I heard good news. And I did go in and Andre was like, yeah, man, we only got a few copies left and this and that. We got to get another box. And, it's not like they bought hundreds. They used to be like 25 boxes, 25 in a box, 50. And I see it on the shelf, and all of a sudden I see one of the I know who it is, but one of his workers walks up because there was a guy who was looking for Pump It Up Homeboy. He just heard it on the mix, so he walked up there and showed him, and it's 329 or whatever, and then he says, "Hey, but if you want, I got a tape. Back then it was cassette. I got a cassette with that and all
Right,
these other songs." And then he ends up buying the tape and not my record. And I'm like,
right,
what the hell just happened here? And then I was almost going to get into the make tapes game, the cassette tapes, but I stopped right there because I didn't like that feeling of somebody and that record was barely on the shelf for a week, Frank. It didn't even make it a week when I walked in there barely. And there you go, people selling our stuff on tape, never getting paid for it. And that's why I like this Mixcloud thing. Mixcloud, all the artists get royalties for everything we play on Mixcloud. It's legit. That's why I try to get everybody to my page too. Besides, I know you do the same for yourself because Mixcloud pays
Yeah,
royalties
I
to.
haven't I haven't been doing it. I've been kind of busy doing other. You know what you were talking about? So the hotel I'm staying at tonight, um, it's a music hotel. It's not the Hard Rock, but the W Hotel. You know they have a stack of 45s on my desk right here for sale, and you just take them home if you want them.
Oh, they count them like they do towels and stuff
Yeah, look at
and
this.
robes.
Yeah, it says. Can you read that?
Third Man Records. Our neighbors at Third Man Records are pleased to offer 7-inch vinyl for sale, $6 per record.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, right?
Were you just testing to see if I could read?
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, this
You
is
know what's cool? So the band I'm playing with, they gave
kind
us.
of rude, you know.
I gotta show you a gift they gave us.
David Ferrer, what's
So
up, old school watching?
so in our room, they gave us these in case we want to play. It's
Okay, wait a
like
minute. Yeah, it's cool.
it's a
Your
little
jack goes in
Marshall.
there from your player.
Yeah, but it's Bluetooth too.
You
So
should
it
go
can
to the
play
dentist for that.
Bluetooth. Um, you can plug your keyboards in there, your guitar, like a little gift. That's the nice thing about touring with a major act. They give you little gifts every time you go in the hotel room. You should see the shower in this joint. You know what? Here, you got a second.
Oh no, I don't.
I'll take you on a little tour. My
You know,
room.
just in case you don't know, I'm on the other side of the road, Frank. It's like
My laptop.
9 in the morning. Just joking,
Of course,
everybody.
we got the nice. Oh yeah, we are stocked.
Yeah, was that lipstick on that glass? I didn't know you wear lipstick now.
Hey, family show, family show. There, wait. So the records went right up there. But this is
Okay.
the cool thing. I'll show you this. So you know you got the snacks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing I don't get. I got to take this over here.
Your caviar?
No. Can you read that?
Temptation Lover's Kit.
Yeah, what the hell's in this? Condoms?
I don't know. I never lived in one.
Yeah, wait. Stuff for your headphones?
Yeah, you could have used that earlier, right?
Yeah, wait. So let me take you in here. This bathroom is badass. Hold on.
So this is in the basement of the hotel, you said?
I gotta show you this. Look at the shower. Isn't that a badass shower? It's like you
Does
go
it
in
have-
it.
You should have just did the show from there.
Right? Wait. And that's it para la caca. You need a caca? Wait.
Saca de caca.
Yeah. Nice little closet. Oh, yeah. We'll be jacking these. These are nice.
I'd probably take one of those over the record.
Yeah, right? These are a nice one. I'll have to bring that for the woman.
Where's the slippers?
And you
So
know
they
you're
give
in
you
a good
slippers
hotel. Even, mira, on umbrella.
there?
Oh, I'm jacking this stuff. Here, this is another cool thing of being on tour with a band. What you do is you take all your dirty clothes and you put them in this bag. Then you hang the door hang this on the door outside,
Yeah.
and they come and do your laundry. How cool is that? So even if my clothes are clean, I still tell him to clean it.
That would have been cool
Oh,
if I had
man.
one of those for my mom when I was young.
Right? Check
Nice
this out on
bag
the
like
bed,
that.
too.
Instead of putting them all over the floor.
You see this bed? Look at this. They got this on the bed. It's like a light.
Come aquí.
Actually, I would hook my woman's leg right here. She's gonna kick
Oh,
my
you mean to
ass
help
when
her
I go
stretch
home.
for the show? Help her stretch for the show later?
She's got a sciatic nerve problem. She's gonna kick my ass. My girl beat the shit out of me.
We don't want to talk about that. That's another hour.
No, you know that. She ain't afraid to kick my ass. Any girl
Queen
that
of
lets me run
Stickney.
around and any girl that lets me run around and do these gigs, dude,
Well, no, remember we were supposed to have
I
the Hall
can't
of
screw
Fame in
up. I
Stickney.
cannot screw up.
Frankie
All
used
right,
to
listen,
make
I got
posters of me, everybody. Frankie used to make,
yeah.
we used to always just make crazy posters of each other on Facebook when it first started. Facebook was cool back then. And he used to,
Right.
every flyer he made with me, I was supposed to be DJing somewhere, and it was all in Stickney. Everywhere was Stickney. Man, Stickney was going on. I love your story about Stickney and B96. With
Yeah,
the
I got a
mayor
call from
calling
the
you or something?
mayor. I would always say that I grew up in Stickney. I went to Stickney High. I played at the Stickney Ballroom. There is no Stickney Ballroom. There's no Stickney High. And the mayor called me, and I told everybody that I was going to be in the parade for Stickney Fest, and I was going to be in the float on the parade this year, and I was honored to be the Grand Marshal of Stickney. And I got a call from the mayor, and I told everybody that Bon Jovi was playing there, Guns N' Roses, George Lamond, TKA at Stickney Fest. I get a call from the mayor. He's like, "Stop, stop. The phone's ringing off the hook here. You got to stop it. There is no Stickney Fest. There's no parade."
That's when you had fun on the air.
So, yeah, we were allowed to have fun.
Well, I was like, I remember,
All right,
like,
I gotta go because I got a flight at 8 o'clock in the morning, dude.
you're an hour behind me.
Hmm?
Are you an hour behind me?
Yeah, I gotta go.
What is it,
Thank
2:45 or
you. Keep up the
3:45?
good work. Yeah, it's same time.
Oh, okay. All right, brother. Hey, thanks a lot, Frankie. And Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez, everybody. Make sure you follow him on Mixcloud,
It's a good
Facebook,
time. Actually,
uh, YouTube.
I haven't posted anything new on Facebook or on Mixcloud. I haven't done any new mixes on there or nothing, but eventually.
But either way, they can find you there and then hit the follow
Oh
button, and
yeah,
there you
yeah, yeah,
go.
yeah. I got a lot on there. There's a lot of old school on there. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. Then there's one thing on Mixcloud that's pretty cool. You can hear what I sound like when I'm touring with the music that I play out of town. If you look on my Mixcloud page, there's a mix I did when I opened up for the Foo Fighters. That has a great variety of music that I play on tour. But I play all music video, but you can't see the videos. But that's on there on my Mixcloud page. If you go to Frankie Hollywood Rodriguez or YouTube or anything, look at the Foo Fighters mix. That's how I sound on tour.
Oh, the other guy
All right.
you forgot was Jonas Brothers you used to do tour for.
No, I did only 2 shows with Nick Jonas. And he
Yeah,
was
I
such
just
a nice
remembered it right
guy.
now. Yeah.
That guy was a very, very classy, nice person. Very
But
nice
hey,
person.
we could do that another time, brother. I know you got to do a lot tomorrow. Thanks a lot for coming on after the mix. And
Yeah, I have a big gig tomorrow night. I got to get out. I got to get up early. I got to go. But you sounded good.
hey, thanks, bro.
The Facebook page, it's distorted. The music speeds up and slows down, dude. It's like every time it's like it lags.
The other
It's
feeds
really
were
weird.
okay, though, right?
The other feeds are perfect. I think
Mixcloud,
it's Facebook.
Twitch,
Facebook
YouTube.
being fine.
I think Facebook does it on purpose. I
So
heard
do
about
I.
that. Yeah. But thanks for the tips.
All right.
Thanks for the feedback. Great stories, Frankie. Everybody out there.
Thanks, guys, for chiming in. I know it's late and everybody's sleeping.
Yeah, there you go. What's your last words for tonight, Frank?
Oh, let's do it this way. Hold on. Have a good Have a good Halloween.
Oh, you're scaring me, man.
La lengua.
Oh, boy.
I don't have any underwear or bras hanging.
I didn't know you wore those.
Big time rock star DJ. Hey.
Well, Frank, cheers to you, brother. And have a great tour, man.
I'll be back.
All right,
Go out
everybody.
again in November, December.
Okay,
How
we're
bad was
good.
the deal with Jim Peterick? Sold the rights to Eye of the Tiger for $5 million. What a mistake! I didn't know that. He sold it for $5 million. Who knew? All right, brother. Be good.
You too, bro.
I'll jack you one of those robes are the shit, aren't they?
How about that pleasure kit, though, huh?
Yeah, the pleasure kit. Hi, Mira. I just want to open it up.
It's probably a vibrating toothbrush or something.
Oh, you want to hear a funny story?
Okay, one more for the road.
One more funny story. So this is like the key to the hotel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the punk at the front desk goes, "Hey, here's your key." I'm like, all right. So I go in the elevator to go to my room, and it goes to the rooftop. And I'm like, I'm hitting the button for my floor, and it doesn't work. So I go to the rooftop, and this hotel has a rooftop where they have, it's Saturday night, so they have like mostly all guys.
Square dancing.
Yeah, it's square dancing contest tonight. So I go back down. I go, this elevator doesn't stop at my floor. I take the other elevator, it goes right back to the roof again. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? 3 elevators. They all just go to the roof. None of them work on my floor. So I go back to the desk, go, hey, I can't get to my room. Is there a different elevator? He goes, no, all the elevators will go to your floor. Okay. So I go back to my elevator, and it takes me back to the roof. And I'm like, this motherfucker. I go back to the desk, and I go, okay, Snapper, why can't I get to my room? And he goes, oh, in the elevator, you got to wave this card on the little key fob thing so that it can stop on the floor. This way, people that come into the hotel that go to the rooftop can't go to any of the floors. Why didn't he tell me that? So in a nice, polite way, I said, oh, all right, come here. Hey, you fucking.
No, you're there.
4 elevators to get to my floor. Housekeeping.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, Frankie.
Hello, Mr. Frankie. You want the room? Yes. Wait. I'll be like this. So what else is going on? Housekeeping. Yes. You want me to make a bed with the chocolate? Well, yes.
Dude, don't start another hour there.
Would you like a cigar? No, please. I don't smoke anymore. Okay. You want to use the lighter? No, the fluffer on the lighter burned me. Okay. Just lay down right there, Consuelo. I got the magic marker. You.
No speaking.
Mr. Frankie, you're going to mark me up? Yes, I am. Are you going to leave your mark on me like the band that you say you are? Yes, I am. Yes? Housekeeping. That's my favorite line ever. This. Housekeeping. Mr. Frankie, you want me to put the pillow like yesterday? Why, yes. Hold on. What do I get? What do I get for $10? Anything you want. Anything? Anything. What do I get for 20? Oh, I take you around the world, big boy. Okay. Hold on. What do you mean? What do you need? Just go? Yes, but I need one thing. Oh, the lover kit? Si, senor. Yeah, this will be on the air. This will be good for the kids. The kids going to mass.
Yeah, well, if they're up with their parents watching this right now, their whole family's going to hell.
Hey, how about Atlanta? Atlanta's going to the World Series. That's good.
Corn pop.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Corn Pop is here. What about me? You're here too.
Yeah. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah, let's go, Brandon. I got to go to bed. I got to get up in like fucking 12 hours.
All right,
No, I
bro.
got to get up in a couple hours. Thank you.
Love you, bro.
Okay, I love you too. Be careful.
Okay, Frank. Everybody, thanks for
It's
watching.
not on, right?
Yeah, I'm taking you off. Here we go, bro. Say for the wave bye to the kids, Frank. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. We had a show there. See, that's the show there. And I just want to say thanks a lot for joining me today here. I was mixing for 4 hours, I think. Damn. I guess me and Frank were on for 2 hours. A little late shout outs there, I guess I can give. We got a Galvin Benz that was in there, David Ferrer, Lenny Rago. Thanks a lot. You made Frank stay there. And, I Bobby Styles, of course, you can't forget Bobby, Daz and everybody else there. I'm just trying to make sure we get these good shouts here. We had Teddy Gucci out there. You had the Gooch. And you're good, you. You got a gift. And Thomas Kevin, thanks a lot for the comment, brother. Raul Jimenez. If I missed anybody, I hope I can catch you next time. It's just, like I said earlier, it's a one-man show. It wasn't planned. Frankie was trying to call me while I was mixing on the live stream. And we just decided to go on. So once again, thanks a lot for listening and watching. And I don't know if I'm going to put this mix up on Mixcloud. I usually put most of the mixes, like at least 5 out of 10. But if you go to mixcloud.com, you'll see my Boogeyman page. And I think, like 60 mixes on there. Some of them are 5 hours, some are 2 hours, some are an hour, some are 3 hours. You get it. And you can listen to those anytime you want. It's free to join Mixcloud. And of course, go on Twitch too. Join Twitch. I play through Twitch. I play through Mixcloud and YouTube. I may have gotten a little trouble today with YouTube, so hopefully that's not the case. I'll see if they restrict me from posting anything. But that kind of happens when you play music. I get that, but I'm just trying to reach everybody I can on every avenue I can. And like I said, I'm in and out of Facebook only to let you know where you can find me, so you get no interruptions for listening to music mixes. And the great thing again about Mixcloud, why I would like everybody to get there eventually, is because Mixcloud pays royalties to the artist every time I play something. Michael Jackson, Fast Eddie, they all get paid. They all get paid on there. So it's legit as legit can be, and there's no cutting off the mixes. So that's about it. It's 4 a.m. here in Chicagoland, USA, Central Standard Time. And I just want to say thank you, everybody, again. And you have a great night out there and a great Sunday. And, you know, God bless you all. It's Sunday, right? And enjoy your Sunday in Chicago and everywhere out there out in the world. And stay in the mix. Good night.